Style. Hope everybody out there is having a fantastic day, as well as week, life, everything else under the sun, all that good stuff. We've got another quick update I just wanted to kind of cover. I'm not going to try to make this very long at all. So, of course, cover the business. Dan, Radio Style is the channel. Loves subscribers. I think I should learn how to talk. You know, someone that's trying to pride themselves on being all, Mr. Microphone or something stupid. But anyway, Dan, Radio Style, please subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to get in touch with me, please contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. And, of course, that's always a good thing. And then the music, that was Dave Matthews Band, one of my probably all-time favorite bands. They're up there at least in the top 3. And that was Old Dirt Hill, or Bring That Beat Back. Great song, kind of reminiscent of when we were growing up. And I thought that was kind of appropriate for what I'm trying to cover on this particular show. I guess we'll go that direction. As I said in our update for May, my update, our update, I guess if you listened, it was our update, but kind of talking about how there's going to be some interesting karma energies that are going to sort of bubble up to the surface. And as certainly my month is starting off that way and has been progressing that way. And it's also like slowly I'm working through these things, right? So I kind of wanted to get into some of that, talk about a little of it, and deal with some of the aspects of how we can kind of work with this energy, how we can kind of heal these things when they do come to the surface. And there's many, many healthy ways to do that. And I think oftentimes we tend to try to bury our heads, push our heads in the sand, ignore, blame other people. There's a lot of different tendencies that people have. And these are definitely not how you're going to move through these things. So, again, energies have been coming up, boiling up, and for many of us, this should be the case. Things that we thought were going really well might all of a sudden kind of be getting strange, and we need to kind of look at it differently. There's going to be times where we are trying something new, and the energies are just not like they were 10, 15, 20 years ago, kind of like the song. It's first time I kissed you, I lost my legs. Like the very first time you go way back, and that was an experience that forever sits in our minds and our beings. But maybe it's a little different now. I've had first kisses with people years after the very, very first kiss I've had that were just amazing. And certainly lost my legs, got dizzy. There's one time I almost fell over with the girl. That was kind of fun, right? Caught us with the wall. But still, there's those moments where we kind of remember, we have these fond memories of what things once were. And as we're progressing through life now, sometimes they seem a little different. That doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it anything. It is exactly where we're supposed to be at this moment. So a lot of this has to do with acknowledging what's going on right now. What is right now trying to show me? What is the lesson in the moment for right now? So for me, I've had some fun with kind of trying to progress into this like blossoming relationship, friendship. I don't know what the heck it is. I can't define it. And that's one of the things that's killing me, frankly. And that's one of the things that have bubbled up for me, right? Like for me to not be able to define something is horrible. Okay, maybe horrible is a little on the extreme side, but it's certainly something that I'm not comfortable, right? It's like, okay, this is weird. I don't know what's going on. And for me, it's much, much easier just to push it away and go, well, it's friggin' weird and I don't want to deal with it. It's strange. It's not meeting the patterns that I'm used to. And so I'm gonna push that away, right? But the reality is, right? Like, if everything was like perfect in my life right now, perfect for where I'm trying to be, I guess it's a relative term anyway, but if everything in the relationship side of my life right now was ideal, well, I would be in a very, very different place, and I also wouldn't be who I am. I mean, I've had a lot of interesting situations relationship-wise in life, and really have had a lot of growing and healing and developing that I've had to do to try to, make up for things that have happened when I was younger and then patterns that have kind of crept into my life, right? So here I am in a situation where something is very different than it used to be. And that's great. That's my point. That is my entire point is if it is different and you're trying to make changes, That's excellent. If it feels uncomfortable, if it feels unique, that's probably a good sign. Now, I've talked about in my last little show I did, sometimes, we got to follow our feelings, and I'm a huge proponent of that. And I will tell everybody every time, follow your feelings. Your feelings are going to lead you, and you got to learn to trust them. Period. You have to learn to trust them. So they might seem wrong at times, but they're not. It led you to the next step. And the next step, you figured something out, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do differently. Perfect. That is following your feelings. That's exactly how it's supposed to play out. You don't just go, okay, I'm going to follow my feelings, and then 5 minutes from now, I'm a millionaire, I'm married, I got a perfect family, a perfect wife, family, life, everything, right? No, it doesn't work like that. It takes you in the direction. You still have to progress through the steps, the phases, the growth, the changes, the choices. I mean, all these things still come, but you're following your feelings, and your feelings are like, go left here, go right here, go straight, talk to this person, right? And you do it. And then eventually you start, after a while, you go, wow, this is a trip. Like talking to that person, some random weirdo that I just said, I feel like I'm supposed to talk to you. And we looked at each other, and it was like we recognized each other. And it's like, hey, how you doing? I'm Dan, and nice to talk to you. And, you end up talking, and all these interesting things come from it. You get this weird perspective. They've got this thing that they're sharing that's similar to what you're going through, whatever the case is. It's amazing how life works out, how Source, how God, how Spirit, how everyone leads us to where we're trying to go. So the point is what we may have in the past that we're trying to progress through, and for many of the light workers out there, so a lot of us, the paths in the past are kind of, I don't want to say checkered, but I guess that is kind of how it is, right? Like it's not perfect all the time, because we're sort of meant to grow and develop and learn. So through that process, there's what some might call making mistakes. What I like to see it as is we're kind of understanding the dichotomy of things, the good and the bad, the left and the right, the up and the down, the black and the white, as I frequently like to talk about. We're growing, we're developing, we're learning. So the situation with me, this person, I don't know, there's just this deep-seated, I really like her. I don't know why. I really don't. I've liked her for a long time. I mean, she knows that, and I think I finally wore her down, as the joke currently going. But whatever the case is, we're inching our way along. Both of us, it's kind of like walking into a dark room, and the light switch is on the other side. You know it's there, and there's some stuff in the way. And you're trying to be very careful and walk slowly and shuffle your feet and just not step too far away so you don't bump into anything. And you've got your arms outstretched because you're waiting to find the wall. And that's kind of how it is sometimes. It feels familiar. You think you know where you're going. You think you know exactly where the light switch is. You just can't see it yet. So we progress. We move forward. We keep following that thought, that feeling, that ebb and flow. We keep trying to get back to, and I guess I'm just relating back to the songing, kind of getting back to that old feeling, right? That comfortable feeling that we know, that area that we know. But how we're getting there is what's different. I think once we do get there, that's where it starts to feel familiar again. That's where we start to realize, I'm home. This is it. Boom. And that's how you know you found it. It's like, I don't know if you've traveled much, right? But when you finally get back into your own home after not being there for a week or two, and you finally walk back into your house, and it's just like, man, it feels right. Or maybe if you're someone that's living in your parents' house and you finally get back into your own bed, how wonderful that feels. It's knowing that we're on the way to the path. It's knowing that we're on the way, but it's also realizing that once we get there, it will seem familiar. It will be recognizable. But oftentimes, when we're trying to make changes and trying to develop ourselves, it's important to realize it's not going to go exactly as it goes or has gone in the past. It should be different. Like I've said before, Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over with the hopes of a different outcome. How about we try doing something different and then hope for a new outcome? Let's try to do something different. Let's try to step in a different direction. Let's jog a little instead of walk or whatever. Let's skip instead of walking. Let's try something different. What do we got to lose, right? We've already made the mistakes in the past, so they didn't hurt us. We grew, we developed. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Again, I love cliches because they speak to truth. They speak volumes of truth. There's just so many bizarre ones out there, and they tend to fit really well. So again, moving through these processes, opening up our hearts, opening up our minds, opening up to what could be. Things are bubbling to the surface. Why is it scaring me personally, right? It's because I've been wrong so many times in the past. Wrong, relative term, right? I've learned a lot of things. The direction has been exactly where I've wanted when I look back on it, right? I haven't ended up with this long-term relationship, but then again, I come from a very broken family, right? Mom and dad have both been married numerous times. So for me to just think that I'm going to bounce right into a solid relationship right off the bat, no. I kind of got to grow. I got to develop. I got to learn what that is. And then ultimately finding someone else that's kind of in the right place for us, for me and them. So again, things are going to bubble up. You can't be scared about it. This is where you got to face it. The energy's great. It's right there in front of you. Love it for what it is. Enjoy it for what it is. It's helping show the way. It's helping bring you to where you're trying to get to. So give yourself a chance. Give yourself a breather. Make time for yourself too, where you can kind of deal with these things and sort of digest what's happening in your life. And then make changes, make choices. Open yourself up and say, okay, I'm not sure what's going on. It seems different. It seems uncomfortable. It seems like it's something I've never experienced before, but it feels similar. Well, follow it. Keep following your feelings. I am 100% sure that whatever is before me down the road from where I'm at currently is perfect. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to look back on it and go, wow, I cannot imagine a better way for this to have played out. When I look back at my life in every standpoint, I feel those ways. And there's, I don't want to say there's regret because I don't. I don't live in regret. There's no reason for it. I see what I've learned. I've grown as a person. And I think it has a lot to do with how I've developed and how I've learned to look at things differently, to see the world in shades of gray instead of black and white. It's part of how we develop and grow, and especially those of us on our spiritual paths. It's hugely important. So keep moving forward. Keep accepting these changes that pop into your life. Change has just been so rampant in my world lately. This is kind of even funny. Like this is one example, a real example of what I think is like huge change. And it cracks me up because it's like really gnarly. The grocery store that I've been shopping at for 12 years now used to be Vons or Pavilions or Safeway if you're in different parts of the country, but it's called Vons here, right? They changed the store. So I still shop at the same physical building, but now it's called Haggerty's. Something like that, Haggers. Something weird. I don't know, some weird new chain. They bought some of these Vonses, and now I've got this brand new store with brand new stuff. Same workers, which is really cool. Kind of gives it that feel of comfort, right, and familiarity. But my freaking grocery store has changed. So I'm doing all these new things. I've got this newer job that I've been in a year. A lot of weird things going on there. A lot of change happening there. It's just life is progressing up. I've made my mind up for the direction I want to go, and these things are happening. I'm taking it a step at a time, taking it a day at a time. It's how you do it. It's how you work through it. So kind of keep yourself focused on the outcome, on where you're trying to go. When these energies bubble up, love them for what they are. Experience them. Don't bury them. Experience them. Try to understand where they're coming from. Try to understand what it is that's inspired this new energy. And then use it to develop and grow. You will notice, one, that the energy goes away. Two, your fear, your concern, your whatever sort of subsides because now there's nothing to be afraid of, or better even stated, this bubbling up is demonstrating parts of yourselves that we can heal. And once it's healed, it goes away. It's done. There's no need for it anymore. And it goes bye-bye. And we continue on and we develop and grow. So a lot of things are going to continue to happen through the month. Another 15 days or so. I'll be doing another update for our what we expect in June. So keep going, keep moving forward, keep focused on the outcomes, and accept nothing less, and understand as well that what is happening right now is perfect and exactly in the direction that you're trying to go. So grow with it, learn with it, love it and appreciate it. Love the people that are showing some of this karma to us. They're doing you a favor. Love them for it, seriously. One, that attitude of gratitude, as they say, is huge in bringing about new changes and positive aspects in your world. And on top of that, it helps us bind and realize how joined we are, how the energies really work between me and some random stranger that I bump into, yet there's that familiarity in their eyes, or we just seem to hit it off, or that funny little moment in the checkout line where they're like, oh, you've only got 3 things, go ahead. And it's like, no, it's cool. I can wait an extra minute. It's not going to kill me. Have a moment. Stop and smell the roses. Enjoy ourselves. Because this process is going to continue. And we're going to continue to have these little bumps in the road. They're there for a reason. And seriously, when you find them, enjoy them and appreciate what they're there for, because they're helping get you to that next level, that next place. And it's a beautiful way that universe, God, source, whatever, has this, it's part of the plan. It's beautiful how it works. And when you really, really start to pay attention to it, and when you start to appreciate what's there and why it's there, it makes life so much more magical. There's so many more things that you start to notice and appreciate, and you start to realize that really everything that we experience, that we're aware of, is for our own good. Everything you're aware of, everything I'm aware of, is for us. So learn it, enjoy the journey, and as these things bubble up, appreciate what they're showing you, learn to move through it, try to see if you can figure out where that energy or that fear or whatever it is, and dissolve it. Ask God, ask higher self, ask source. Ask to have it, to help dissolve it out, to help transmute this energy, to help move away from it and into the new you. And you will be very, very surprised at the outcomes that come. Dan Radio Style, I appreciate you all joining me as we make our way through this wonderful journey in life. Certainly let go, enjoy the journey, enjoy the trip, because there's a lot to it. And it's a beautiful ride when you really sit down and appreciate it. It's Dan Radio Style. Get in touch with me if you would like. That would be fantastic. At spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. And also, if you'd like to subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. But certainly, I just love it that you guys are listening. Thank you so much, and we'll do this again soon.